Let's rewind the clock back to May 11th, 1995, a day that's gone down in gaming history as one of the biggest F-ups in console launches. Yes, I'm talking about the Sega Saturn surprise North American debut, and 30 years later, we're still talking about how this moment torpedoed Sega's chances against their new rival, the Sony PlayStation, which set the stage for their exit from the hardware business altogether. What went wrong? Why did it fail so hard? And what can we learn from it? It's a disaster that's equal parts fascinating as well as frustrating. And let's get to it. First, some context. By 1995, Sega was riding high off the Sega Genesis, a 16-bit powerhouse that went toe-to-toe with Nintendo's SNES. They carved out a cool, edgy vibe. Think, Sega does what Nintendo don't. The Saturn, their 32-bit next-gen console, launched in Japan in November 1994 to solid sales, powered by arcade hits such as Virtua Fighter. Sega of America had a plan. Launch it in the US on September 2nd, 1995, known as Saturn Day, with a $399 price tag and a decent lineup. But then everything went off the rails, far off the rails. So picture this. It's the first ever E3 in Los Angeles, May 11th, 1995. Sega of America CEO Tom Kalinske steps out for his keynote. He's got Virtua Fighter bundled with a Saturn, a slick dual CPU system, and a hype train ready to roll. Then boom, he drops the bombshell.
Computer Entertainment Presidents of America.
$299.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Oh, by the way, the Saturn's out today at select retailers. Surprise! 30,000 units had already shipped to places like Toys R Us and Babbage's. Sega of Japan had pushed this early launch to beat Sony's PlayStation out of a desperate move, which was set for September to the punch. But here's the shit kicker. It backfired, and backfired tremendously. Why was this a disaster? Let's break it down. Number one, nobody was ready. Customers wasn't prepared to drop $399, which is well over $800 in today's money, out of nowhere. No hype, no pre-orders, just a console sitting on shelves with a steep price tag. Number two, retailers got burned. Big chains like Best Buy and Walmart weren't in on the secret launch, and they were pissed off. KB Toys even blacklisted Sega products entirely. Imagine your partners refusing to stock your stuff. That's a death knell in itself. And number three, the games just wasn't there. Only 6 titles launched with it. For example, Panzer Dragoon, which is a great on-the-rails shooter. However, the Virtua Fighter was buggy because developers got blindsided as well. As for third-party support, yeah. And by the end of 95, Sony sold over 800,000 PlayStation consoles. In the US to Sega's 400,000 Saturns. Now let's keep it a buck here. The Saturn wasn't doomed from day one. It had killer arcade ports and eventually gems like Nights into Dreams, the Panzer Dragoon Saga, and a few others like the Capcom imports, to say the least. It held its own with over 5 million units sold in its lifetime. But in the United States, that launch was a self-inflicted wound. Sega's internal chaos didn't help, as Sega Japan and America were at odds. Japan panicked over Sony and even Atari's Jaguar, pushing the early drop, while America was still juggling the 32X, which was a Genesis add-on that flopped and flopped extremely hard. Resources were split, focus was lost, and the Saturn paid the price. So what's the fallout? Well, by 1998, the Saturn was dead in the West, selling just 9.26 million units worldwide, crushed by the PlayStation's 102 million. It bled the manufacturer dry, paving the way for the Dreamcast's last stand with their hardware exit by 2001. So looking back in 2025 is a cautionary tale. Don't rush a launch, don't piss off your partners, and don't underestimate your competition. Sony played the long game with better development odds, a lower price, and a killer lineup like Ridge Racer and Tekken, just to name a few. The Sega Saturn was a bold swing that missed the mark and changed gaming history. And if you enjoyed this retrospective, as with many of my video essays, please hit subscribe and that bell icon. Till next time.